I am the War Chief.
Hello my friends and welcome to another 3D breakdown. Today we will be taking a look at a 3D stage that is very familiar to all of us Hololive fans. We are going to be taking a look today at Hololive's 3D Idol stage. This is a place that has no need for introduction. You guys all know what it looks like, but I wanted to kind of give it a bit of the attention that it deserves. So let's go in and do a little bit of a breakdown. We'll have another 3D time lapse, and this time I do have a pre-built scene that I can show you guys at the end of the video. All right, so let's get this thing started. All right, so the first thing you're going to see, of course, is this big blocky shape, which I notice is an octagon. So create the cylinder first. That, we just make it 8-sided so that it's a big old octagon. I only expand the front side because I know that's the only thing that's really going to be visible here. And we already have the big base shape. And from this point on, I realize, that a lot of this can actually be very simple. You can just break them down into cubes. So here, it's a big cube that I split into, 5 different parts to serve as the steps. We bring out our old circle friend here, and I split it into the last 6 parts, 6 segments, to serve now as the spiral stairs. So that. Make those quick adjustments. I'm just making sure that all of the measurements are even, and then it's all going very well. So just like that, we already have the base stage and the stairs. And then I noticed that in between the stairs are, it is a big stage-like area too. They don't really use this, honestly. It's a lot more decorative than anything. But I still did notice that there's a big cube block out. So here I come back to the stairs, make these little edge loops so I can add the lighting later. And here's that big cube I was mentioning. So I just kind of estimate the height to be around the same as the stairs. And there we have our main base structure. So now we're going back to this. We look at the screens, the auxiliary items, and that's what we're going to be working on next. We grab the cube. I set this to like a 16:9 aspect ratio, and then just scale it down so at least it's following the measurements, the ratio that I need. And then now we're building the 3 little screens. Taller as they grow a little bit taller with each one. You might hear Nemo meowing in the background, but just do these 3, and then we duplicate it and just put it on the other side. Here I'm just rotating all of them to fit to match the reference that we have. So now we're kind of taking a look at this, like, okay, this is looking pretty good. So now we try to just make the play button, which is just, big curved triangle. So we just make that, kind of scale it to size, and then we can just play with it. There are 2 much larger screens in the back, so we make those next. And then now I start making the little metallic frame that you can see around the screens, almost looking like small scaffolding, right? So this is where I also realized that, my scaling is a little bit out of proportion. So I do make those adjustments on the fly here. So now all you need to do is to grab these, small small cubes. And what I do here is, just align them and then duplicate. It's it's imprecise, as I'm just kind of eyeballing it. That's why you see that last bit there is a little bit, will trigger a little bit of OCD. But, this is really just for demonstration purposes. Expand this, just duplicate this again. And as you can see, we cranked this out pretty fast. Honestly, this one was much easier than the Suisei MV because there's only one area that I'm focusing on. And this did take me about, I'd say, 43 minutes 43, 45 minutes, thereabouts. It really didn't take me a long time at all. So here you can see I'm just adjusting the proportions, adjusting the spacing. Now we're just playing with the play buttons, scaling it up and down and, rotating a little bit. And then I just duplicate and then mirror it, which is likely the exact technique that they used when I'm looking closer at the, at the reference image here on screen. And of course, there's that little runway. Well, first we make the spotlight, rather. So, these are just the hanging spotlights. Very, very easy to make. It's just cylinders, no? Then we make that little runway at the center of the stage that turns into a circular area. So here is just a big cube that turns into a big cylinder. And there you go. That's, you can now see the direct comparison. So now that we've taken a look at that, I wanted to show you guys a couple of quick renders. The first one is the Sana idol stage that I made around the time when she was graduating. Certainly there were a few techniques here that I could have improved, but I do like how it turned out. It still has all the screens. It has a lot of her unique elements, in a idol stage format. And then the other one I wanted to show you guys briefly was the Ollie idol stage. For this one, you can see that I didn't have the spiral staircase anymore. I decided to have these almost like stained glass windows effect. And then we just have the swords as the props there. Then you can see this is supposed to be that big screen at the center. But instead of having all the metallic elements, we just put a big old ribbon there. And then the meatballs, as we like to call it. And that about wraps it up. It's going to be a much shorter breakdown, as you've seen, compared to the Suisei Soiree, but that's because we're only really focusing on one scene today, and the shapes that are present in it are a lot simpler than they seem at first glance. So I hope this little breakdown has been able to give you guys a better appreciation of the Hololive idol stage and how they're able to put together all these simple shapes together to create something much greater than the sum of its parts into something iconic that we've all learned to come to appreciate, no? Okay, so please let me know how you felt about this breakdown, any points for improvement, and maybe something else you'd like to see in the future. But with that, I would say this session is adjourned. Everybody, please take care of yourselves. Have a lovely rest of your day, afternoon, and evening. I will see you guys in the next one. This is Senator Warchief signing out. Otsu Sen.